Welcome to Silver Heist. Thank you to our returning subscribers and guests. So, if you are a silver stacker, I want to talk to you about gold. We're a channel that likes to share experiences in preserving wealth through silver and gold purchases. So, if you like those things, please subscribe. So, if you're stacking silver, you're doing fantastic. You're way ahead of your neighbors. But consider gold. So Ben Franklin was a strong believer in a penny saved being a penny earned. And so if you are accumulating silver for wealth preservation, you are doing fantastic. But if somehow you think you can't afford gold, then the problem is not what's in here. The problem may actually be up here. Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich in the mid-30s, and we're going to talk about how all great achievements start with an idea. And we're going to talk about thoughts are things, gold things. Think and Grow Rich is an inspirational classic written by Napoleon Hill quite some time ago. I have not read this in over 20 years. So this was originally published in 1937 during the heights of the Great Depression. So let's cover some topics in this book which I believe will help you achieve what you're looking to achieve. So very first chapter, thoughts are things. Truly, thoughts are things, and powerful things at that, when they are mixed with definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their translation into riches or other material objects. So 3 feet from gold. One of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. Every person is guilty of this mistake at one time or another. An uncle of R.U. Darby was caught by the gold fever in the gold rush days and went west to dig and grow rich. He had never heard that more gold has been mined from the thoughts of men than has ever been taken from the earth. He staked a claim and went to work with pick and shovel. After weeks of labor, he was rewarded by the discovery of the shining ore. He needed machinery to bring the ore to the surface. Quietly, he covered up the mine, retraced his footsteps to his home in Williamsburg, Maryland, told his relatives and a few neighbors of the strike. They got together money for the needed machinery and had it shipped. The uncle and Darby went back to work the mine. The first car of ore was mined and shipped to a smelter. The returns proved they had one of the richest mines in Colorado. A few more cars of that ore would clear the debts. Then would come the big killing in profits. Down went the drills. Up went the hopes of Darby and Uncle. Then something happened. The vein of gold ore disappeared. They had come to the end of the rainbow, and the pot of gold was no longer there. They drilled on, desperately trying to pick up the vein again, all to no avail. Finally, they decided to quit. They sold the machinery to a junk man for a few $100s and took the train back home. The junk man called in a mining engineer to look at the mine and do a little calculating. The engineer advised that the project had failed because the owners were not familiar with fault lines. His calculations showed that the vein would be found just 3 feet from where the Darbys had stopped drilling. That is exactly where it was found. The junk man took millions of dollars in ore from the mine because he knew enough to seek expert counsel before giving up. I will never stop because men say no. Long afterward, Mr. Darby recouped his loss many times over when he made the discovery that desire can be transmuted into gold. The discovery came after he went into the business of selling life insurance. Remembering that he lost a huge fortune because he stopped 3 feet from gold, Darby profited from the experience in his chosen work by the simple method of saying to himself, I stopped 3 feet from gold, but I will never stop because men say no when I ask them to buy insurance. Darby became one of a small group of men who sell over $1 million in life insurance annually. He owed his stickability to the lesson he learned from his quitability in the gold mining business. Before success comes in any man's life, he is sure to meet with much temporary defeat, and perhaps some failure. When defeat overtakes a man, the easiest and most logical thing to do is to quit. That is exactly what the majority of men do. More than 500 of the most successful men this country has ever known told the author their greatest success came just one step beyond the point at which defeat had overtaken them. Failure is a trickster with a keen sense of irony and cunning. It takes great delight in tripping one when success is almost within reach. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So chapter 2 touches on desire, the starting point of all achievement, the first step toward riches. There is a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. Open-mindedness is essential for belief. Closed minds do not inspire faith, courage, and belief. Remember, no more effort is required to aim high in life, to demand abundance and prosperity, than is required to accept misery and poverty. A great poet has correctly stated this universal truth through these lines. I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is a just employer, he gives you what you ask, but once you have set the wages, why you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life, life would have willingly paid. So the chapter ends with, there are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge. Both poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. So if you're a silver stacker, you may just be 3 feet from gold, and it may just be a matter of your thoughts more than your budget. If you think gold is just too expensive, imagine how much more expensive it's going to be in the future. If you think purchasing gold is too expensive, imagine how expensive it will be in the future to not have gold. The thing that got my desire for gold, of all things, was the Apollo 11 commemorative coin. And I just love the Apollo 11 accomplishment and this design that I wanted this gold. So I purchased this amongst some of the other commemorative silver that went along with the same program, and I took one small leap towards gold. So I was 3 feet away from gold, but it took one small step forward, and then I had some gold. So from that point on, my imagination was captured and was excited about gold and its possibilities, that I started thinking of other ways of having gold. So with silver, I can make modest purchases on a weekly and monthly basis. It took a little bit more desire and focus to buy additional pieces of gold. This is a half-ounce piece that came about from just desiring gold and budgeting towards gold. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So not only our thoughts are things, but desire is the starting point of all achievement. So when your mind is focused on a outcome, then you can work towards achieving that. So then any opportunity, and I was very fortunate and blessed to receive a bonus at work, and I immediately thought that I wanted to take care of unmet needs, and my unmet needs were, in terms of saving and preserving wealth, was more gold. So I earmarked a large portion of the bonus budget towards another piece of gold. I took care of some other silver things, finished off a tube of Canadian maple bullion silver coins. Also had some fun. Went out for dinner with my wife. Enjoyed some things. But in terms of wealth preservation, it was too big of an opportunity to not lock in some gold. If you are looking at preserving your wealth and you're stacking silver, congratulations, you are on the right track, but consider the possibility of you having gold. A half ounce is actually a pretty big piece of gold to buy in one fell swoop. So there's other fractional pieces. You can go as low as 1/10 of an ounce in the American Eagles. Other coins come in 1/20 of an ounce. So there's other possibilities out there. I just want you to be open to the possibility that gold is within your reach, that you deserve gold, that it's not for other people, that it's something that you can have. So thoughts are indeed things, and sometimes they are gold things. Please like, comment, and if you want another perspective on gold, please watch the featured video.